Yep.
Like, and I be like the fucking egg from that morning. I'm like, hey, heat it up. Let's go.
Yes.
Let's go. I'm tasting everything because I don't get to have that like fucking
Often,
immersive experience. Super unhealthy sometimes, but
it's still so good.
I'm eating everything.
It's so good.
Oh, God.
No, Mom made
Mexico appreciation episode for sure.
Facts, man.
Kill it. I was just talking to Bree today, and I was like, we got into the conversation. I forgot how we got into this conversation, but we got into because I started watching Uncoupled, which I don't know if you know about this, but I would explain it a little bit because I do have that on my notes. The Uncoupled is filmed in New York. And the director of photography is doing a good job with capturing like the way the life of the city or whatever, right? So already I'm like fucking hooked, right? We got into the conversation about like who has the better skyline, like which city has the better skyline? New York, Chicago, Houston, you know what I mean? So like all over the world, we talk about the bigger. And so I'm naturally like, well, New York has the best skyline in the world. Period. I haven't been to Chicago like that, but she was like, no, the architecture in Chicago is like amazing or whatever. So like I get it or whatever, right? But then we started getting into like the correlation between if a city has a good skyline because it has a lot of people, and we realized that that's not the case because Mexico City has
a lot of
fucking people, and that skyline is garbage.
Well, no, but
it doesn't even have a necessarily like an actual skyline.
But it depends though, because like for instance, like places like New York, places like Houston, Chicago might have really nice skylines, but because you're talking about somewhere you can build skyscrapers on.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, you can't be building them in Mexico City. Oh, bro. Earthquake come through and loop.
So in general, that's why we were talking about skylines, right? So we were talking about like the type of like amazing skylines that there can be. And then I was talking about how Monterrey actually has a better skyline-ish city feel than Mexico City, even though Monterrey is like kind of slept on, like the way, like people don't tend to think about it as a big metropolitan city, at least from what from my understanding. Well, no, even though it's a huge fucking city.
It's the second biggest city in Mexico.
In Mexico.
Well,
and she didn't know that.
And I think
I lost my train of thought. What was I saying before this?
You were just saying how you were talking about Uncoupled, and you guys were talking about the.
But like, why did I bring up the skyline to begin with?
Because in Uncoupled they were talking about New York.
What did I say before that?
My dude.
Damn, this is strong, dog. Like, what the fuck am I talking about? Anyway, the biggest, the best skyline or whatever, right? For me, it was New York that we started talking about like Shanghai and like all this stuff or whatever, right? But like, well, how does that relate to Mexico? What was I saying?
I don't know, bro. You just started talking.
God damn. Well, I'm really ranting today, yo. Like,
I do think if we're gonna talk about skylines, I just kind of pick up on that. The fact I think Houston skyline is one of the nicest because it's so neat and definitive.
Okay.
And the reason I say that, and even though I love New York, the reason I don't say that about New York is because if I were to just see a negative picture of the skyline and just the skyline outline, I could not tell that's New York. I'd just be like, that's a lot. That's a lot.
I'm gonna call BS on that. Okay, so here's my definition. A skyline is a great skyline for many reasons. It has to fit a certain criteria. One, from the air, you have to see it.
Yeah.
From a distance, you have to see it. The negative, you have to picture it. From different angles, you have to see it. So not just one angle that's like amazing. It's a different angles. You have to be able to see the skyline and it be definitive, right? And then if you get into like the nooks and crannies, a little bit of the architecture, maybe some of the history, whatever, like it's all encompassing. And also size. It matters. In this context, it matters. So in this scenario, I think New York is number one because not only is it fucking huge, but from different angles you can see it. From different angles you see the skyline plus the Brooklyn Bridge plus the Williamsburg Bridge. If you see it from Jersey, it looks amazing. If you see it from Brooklyn, it looks amazing. If you see it behind the Statue of Liberty, it looks amazing. So like I think New York takes the cake. I haven't seen Chicago like that, so I can't. But I don't doubt that it's because it's like a long strip or whatever, and it's amazing. Houston has a very succinct skyline, but the problem is that you can't necessarily add to Houston's skyline unless you tear down what's already there because it's in a circle and it's so small.
It's so
small. You can get from one side of Houston to the other on a car in like 4 minutes. 4 or 5 minutes.
Oh, you mean
from like one side of downtown to the other side of downtown?
From one
in
side
like
of
4 or
downtown
5 minutes. You can walk it in less than 30 minutes. So it's for real. Yeah. You can from either side, from Toyota Center to Toyota Center to the aquarium, or from Etro to
from the Chase Tower to
all the way
like
down to like the McDonald's or whatever.
The
PNC, you can walk it.
You can actually. It's really pretty
it's
walkable.
really small.
I do think
and
that's
for
true.
that, I don't think Houston takes it. I think Houston looks cohesive.
Yeah,
like the skyline looks cohesive. I'm like it flows well.
I just like the fact that when you see it, you're like, that's Houston. I like the fact that you could be very much like...
But Houston takes it in the sense that, like, I think if you look at Chicago from the lakeside, it looks beautiful because the city has a reflection on the lake. So, like, it doubles itself.
Yeah.
So, like, that's really pretty. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
New York can't do that because the rivers are so small.
Yeah.
But if you look at downtown from the other side of Chicago, it might not look as good, right? If you look at it from the side looking towards the line, it might not look as good.
Yeah.
Whereas New York, towards the line, you see Manhattan, you see World Trade, and then you see the Statue of Liberty, and you say, oh man, it still looks fucking gorgeous.
Yeah.
Houston takes it because if you take like an aerial shot, and I know this because I've taken the aerial shot, from the east side, you see Minute Maid, you can see Toyota Center. You can see like still the skyline. If you look at it from the other side, from like the
heights?
No. If you look at it from the heights, it still looks nice. Because you see the aquarium. You see, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if you look at it from what's that park over there? Emmanuel Park or whatever that park is on the other side.
Yeah.
That's the quintessential Houston skyline that you see.
Oh, the one by the Treasury.
Yeah,
the one by
Island Parkway.
Yeah.
And it looks gorgeous. So in that sense, Houston takes it from all the angles.
And that's why I like it, because like the fact, I like the way that you could, because there's that one fucking side one that look like this. The one that's like piquito looks like this and it's like slanted on the side.
Oh yeah, it has like 3 piquitos.
There's that one that's got 3 piquitos, and then there's the one that's like, it's one of the taller ones, but it's like it just leans off.
Oh yeah. One. That's the newer one.
Yeah. Well, in the skyline, you could see which building is what, and you're like, hey, that's that one building, and whatever. And like the Chase building, for instance, because it's the tallest one here, you're like, that's the peak of wherever it's at. So it looks really nice. I just like the fact that anywhere you could put the skyline, you'd be like, that's Houston.
Yeah.
Though, and the thing with Houston is just like, Houston might be getting bigger in terms of sizing of, or like population, just people coming in here, and maybe we're building up more, which with the townhomes and whatever. But there's just no way to disrupt that skyline. Because there's just literally no way. There's no way to disrupt the skyline unless you tear the skyline down and build it up again.
Or tear the freeway down, which tear the freeway
down, which they're not gonna do.
Yeah.
On the other hand, they're trying to make the freeway bigger. They're trying to take down basically all of old Chinatown now and just build the freeway bigger.
Yeah.
Which is not the best, but whatever.
It is what it is.
Yeah. So.
But I do fuck with the Houston skyline, and I was saying in terms of like. In terms of aesthetics, like the Monterrey skyline looks really pretty because of the mountains,
Los
dude.
Cerros, man.
Like Los Cerros are right there. El Cerro de las Sillas right there. And then the city's just like
it's bowled in.
Sitting in there. It's bowled in. And then it goes up on the hills too. Oh,
dude,
man.
no. There's literally...